Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Preschool All-Stars podcast. I'm Bethany Johnson, and I'm joined again today for an update episode for Karisa Day. How are you doing today, Karisa?
Good. I'm so happy to be here again.
Me too. I'm excited. I'm holed upstairs in my upstairs bedroom, so that's why my background is a little different, but we're making it work right now. We're making it work. So last time I talked to you was like 9 or 10 months ago. And I know you got stuff going on in that interim. So if anyone missed our last episode, just give a quick rundown of where you were when we last spoke.
So when we last spoke, I guess that was last school year. I went to school. I did have a little bit of change because of COVID. I had some students I had previously graduated from pre-K. And their parents were worried about them going to kindergarten with the way schools were last year. So I offered them to come to me because I am a certified teacher. I was like, they can come to me. We'll just personalize their learning because I'm a big fan of personalized learning, and my classes are super small. So I'm able to do personalized learning and teach every kid at their level. So I knew that I could accommodate the kindergartners. So we did that last year, and that was kind of a new thing, but I loved it. I loved it so much that we have a kindergarten this year.
Yay. I remember you saying you were thinking about starting a kindergarten, right?
Yes.
And so you did it. Awesome. Okay, wait, were you doing online and in person last time we spoke?
I was doing online and in person, and it was a lot. It was
Yeah,
very busy.
it is a lot.
Because I also did take home bags. So anything we would do in class, I would make those things for the students to take home. So all of their art supplies, all of the worksheets, all of the like scissors or Play-Doh or anything that we were doing or that they would be able to do here, I would make a bag for them and I'd send it home to them. So they didn't feel left out and they were capable of doing whatever we were doing, and the parents didn't have to provide anything. And it was great, but it was so busy trying to do my full-time preschool because it's just me. I don't have any other teachers or anything like that. So when I added the kindergarten program this year, it kind of supplemented the online. So I decided to not do online this year.
Awesome. Okay, so tell me all about that. What's your schedule now that you're just local with all your classes?
So my schedule's fairly similar to what it was. So I do have a preschool that is like 2 to 3 year olds Mondays and Wednesdays, and that's 9 to 11:30 in the morning. And then I have the pre-K class Tuesdays, Thursdays, Fridays.
Okay.
That's new too. I added a Friday for the pre-K so that they could be here more, and it was more of a transition from preschool to pre-K. It was kind of a step up. So that's a little bit different too. And they're here from 9 to 11:30 as well. And the kindergarten is where it's different for sure. My own son started kindergarten. So he's doing public school in the morning and then my school in the afternoon.
Okay.
So I take him to school in the morning and then I go get him at lunch. So I've kind of shifted my schedule around for the kindergartners to accommodate that, which is amazing about having your own preschools. That, right? So they start at 12:45, and then I also added an extra half an hour to go to 3:45. And the reason for that is because I did have some kids that were fall babies, and they missed the cutoff to go to not real kindergarten, public school kindergarten. Right. So I took them, and they have to have a certain amount of hours for it to count as like a private kindergarten.
Okay.
So I lengthened the time that they were here so that they would get those hours. And then something that's pretty cool that I added for the kindergartners is the first Friday every month, we have a bonus class. So I thought about how the public schools offer them PE, music, computer classes, things like that. So I wanted them to get some extra, that maybe something I couldn't teach them, some skill that they could learn. So we have special teachers coming in to teach a class.
Wow.
Teachers, gymnastic teachers. We had a magic show last month. We had a gardener come in and teach them all about that stuff. So something that's out of my wheelhouse, it's not my expertise, come in and give them something that's different. And
that's so cool.
is that way too. So yeah.
How do you find that and how does it work? Well, I guess you only do that for your preschool, for your kindergartners,
Right.
and your
Yeah.
kindergartners are there 5 days a week, all of them?
They are here 4 days a
Oh,
week.
4 days a week.
I have my pre-Ks on Fridays.
Okay. So Monday through Thursday
Yes, they're here Monday through Thursday. Mhm.
in the afternoon. And how do you find those people to come in and do the special classes? And where did, like, if they're doing gymnastics, are they doing it in the classroom? And give me those deets.
Well, so far it was really easy. I just kind of put out on like mom's page in the local valley. I just said, hey, I've got a kindergarten class that I would like to offer these bonus classes. Does anybody have like a skill set that you want to come and share with them? And that's marketing for them.
Yeah, totally.
If a dance teacher is coming in here to teach dance, well, my students as their marketers for them. So that was super easy. And I just wanted to make sure that one, they were either going to do it for free or it was like, under $100 because they're only coming for like an hour or two. And so I didn't want it to be this crazy extra expense that I was putting out.
Yeah.
So it was super easy. And the only part that I had a hard time with was trying to figure out some of them wanted to be outside. Like we have like a lady coming with like reptiles and animals and things like that. So I just had to make sure that it was like in May, that it would be warmer where we could be outside and do something like that. And so far we've had them outside because the weather has been nice. So we'll see how it is starting this next month when it's a little chillier, but we'll have them in class.
Yay, that's so fun. I want to do something like that so bad, but it's kind of, it's hard because I have so many different groups and I would have to have the person come like in the morning and afternoon on either Tuesday or Thursday, and then in the morning and afternoon on a Monday, Wednesday, Friday. So all the kids could see it. And
Right.
it's like complicated. So I haven't actually done that yet, but
yeah, I only make it for the kindergartners.
yeah.
It makes it a little easier and it makes it so that they can do some higher level activities without
Totally.
2-year-olds kind of in the way.
Yeah. So how many kindergartners do you have?
I have 6.
Nice. And how much do you charge for that for the 4 days a week?
$350.
Okay. And
Yeah.
do you market it as like a homeschool pod with a teacher or as a private kindergarten program?
Kindergarten. And it helps, I think, that I'm a certified teacher. So
Definitely.
I always, if I have that skill set, I'm always going to push that. So I just market it that, I'm a certified teacher. We have a licensed facility. And right now it's really easy because parents don't want to send their kids to school.
I know they still don't. It's still going. Yeah.
It's so nice because I have super small classes.
Mm-hmm.
So we can do so much more,
Yes.
I almost feel bad sometimes because I feel like I'm preparing my kindergartners too much because they're getting like so many skills that they wouldn't get. And the only reason why I can know that is because I see my own child going to the public school. And so I kind of see what he's doing, reflecting on what we're doing. And I'm like,
Yeah.
interesting. So having that small class and the private private kindergarten is amazing.
Are most of your families previous preschool students or new families?
They are. Most of them are. We only have one new. So it made me very happy not to see them leave
Mm-hmm.
here, because I have had several of these students 2 up to 3 years. Like one of
Wow.
my kindergartners, I had her when she was 2 and
Mm-hmm.
she turned 5. So that's pretty cool because it's so nice to have them for multiple years because you know their personality and you know their skill set and you can just build on what you've already learned from them. So I love having students more than 1 year.
Totally. Absolutely. I know when you're a public school teacher, you don't get that. You
No.
just 1 year and then they're gone and you like ask your teachers, how's he doing? The next grade up but you don't get to really see him, which is always sad.
Yeah.
How do you need a different license or anything different with licensing to do kindergarten?
Not in Idaho. So Idaho, it doesn't actually require kindergarten.
Okay.
So,
Oh, really? Okay.
so we don't require kindergarten. So that helps me with like, I guess if there was extra licensing I would have to do. But I don't think there is, even if we did, I am a certified teacher and I could be homeschool if you want to call it that.
Right.
But so that made it super easy for me. The only thing that we're going to see how it plays out this year is those fall kids, they wouldn't meet the cutoff to go to public school.
Oh.
That's why I said they have to be here for a certain amount of hours.
Mhm.
So that if they have their 350 hours of private kindergarten, then they can go to first grade next year, only being 5.
Oh.
And it's like an Idaho clause thing. So we're gonna see if
Interesting.
it works. It's in there, but I've never
Yeah. Never
it.
tested it.
And I've let the parents know, like, hey, this is the clause in the Idaho, but I don't know if they're actually going to uphold it. So don't hold me to that.
Yeah.
So
Do they have in Idaho? Do they have like free kindergarten, or do people have to pay for kindergarten?
so they have free half-day kindergarten.
Oh, but not full day.
Yeah, if you want full day, you have to pay for the other half.
Wow.
Don't have a ton. I don't think that many people do full day just because they
Okay.
don't want to pay for it.
Yeah.
So when I was trying to figure out my prices, I was looking at the public school to see how much do you guys charge for that extra half day. And they're about 300. So I was like, well,
Okay.
I'm going to go a little more than that because I'm
Yeah.
coming for more than that. So
Yeah, absolutely. Well, that's really cool. And I think the adding a kindergarten class is such a great option for certified teachers.
yes, I really love it because it takes me back to being, in the public school and being able to do the more higher curriculum things. Like
Mhm.
we're writing, like I have 4 and 5-year-olds, we're writing and we're reading, and it's really cool to be able to do those things because they're old enough to do that.
Yeah. And do you have a certain curriculum you're using?
Not necessarily. The school I taught at, they were very they never gave us like basals or curriculum or anything like that. It was like, here's your standards, here's your class,
Okay.
teach.
Yeah.
When I taught out there for 5 years, I didn't have anything, and so I'm just pulling resources left and right. Teacher P teachers and Pinterest. That's
Yeah.
my curriculum.
Yeah.
I've never found a curriculum that I just love, that I'm like,
Yeah.
oh, yeah, I can just follow this. I'm good to go.
Totally. Every curriculum needs to be supplemented.
I am just too creative, I guess. And so I just pick and choose. I'm like, oh, that's a cool activity. That's a cool activity. Initially, I followed like Joy's outline for each letter. Cause I'm like, well, what am I going to teach for each letter? What topic should it be?
Mhm.
Now this is my 4th year. So some of the letters I've changed just because they didn't work for the kids.
Mhm.
But my outline is the same, and I follow like her life skills and things like that. So then once I have a topic, then I just go and research, and I spend a lot of money on Teacher Pay Teachers because
Yeah.
that's my jam. I really like Pocket of Preschool. They have a
Yeah,
lot of
me
good
too.
resources. I pull from there. I can't remember Life of a Preschool. I can't remember. I have so many like email registers.
Yeah.
I get so many things in my email because I've signed up.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, me too. I actually just went through and like had to unfollow because I'm like, oh man, I'm just getting so many.
Yes, you do.
Yeah.
Because you want whatever resource they have, and you're like,
Sign up for our email list and you'll get it for free.
yeah. The only hard time I'm having is like there's a big difference between 2 to 3-year-olds can do and 3 to 4-year-olds. So I
Totally.
can't plan the same thing. Like we're roughly doing, like last week we did dinosaurs. So we're doing the same thing, but the activities obviously are different just because
Yeah.
what they're capable of doing and things like that. And then for my kindergarten, we're not really following the same topic as them. Like we'll throw in like, I'll find some activity that's in kindergarten related to dinosaurs, and so we try to tie it in that way just so that they can do the same like sensory bin and the same
Right.
puzzles as the other kids.
Mm-hmm.
But we follow more like rigor. Like we have an ELA time, and we have a math time, and we have a science time. So
Yeah.
it's a little more structured because I want to make sure that they meet the kindergarten standards.
Right. Oh, that's what I was gonna ask. You're following the standards for your
Right.
state. Yep.
Yep. I
And
just
are you still getting like play in? So is it still like play based, but you're still getting, but you're
right.
also setting aside those times? Good. I
Right. So
feel like,
we have we come in, they'll have some exploratory time. So that's kind of their play time. It's like
okay.
we're playing with Play-Doh or playing with sand. We're doing something, but I always make it something that's like a fine motor skill.
Mm-hmm.
these kids are going to be writing. And so I want their hands to be ready for writing. So we do things like that. But then we'll do puzzles and they think it's playing. And I know it's problem solving and cooperation and things like that. They're playing in the sensory bin, but it's learning to share, getting your kinesthetic learning. So that's how I view Playbase, is like, I know that there's research behind it and that it's important and whatever skill they're learning, but they think it's fun. So
totally. Yeah, I hate that most kindergartners don't get any sort of sensory thing or Play-Doh work, like even the fine motor skills. I mean, we know that those need to be developed, and yet when they get to school, they just put a pencil in their hand and expect them to be able to do it all. Like, they don't do fine motor work in kindergarten. And for the kids who don't go to preschool, they don't have any of that. And then it's crazy.
Yeah. I think I've seen like a lot of that with my son's kindergarten. It's just like, it's a lot of them, it's their first experience at school. And so that's why you have to like start at the very beginning, is what they would do in preschool. So
and wow. So I'm just picturing kids who don't go to kindergarten at all if it's not mandatory, and they're expected to go to first grade.
Can you imagine having like a 6 and 7-year-old coming and not knowing like letters, shapes, colors? Like, I can't even picture. I feel so bad for that teacher to have to scaffold.
That's crazy, because like first grade standards are they expect so much of them, and I mean in kindergarten too, but even in first, they expect so much of them. So for a child to show up never going to preschool or kindergarten and then just show up in first grade, that's crazy.
Yes. Wow. Yes. And the standards there, you're a teacher, like you've probably seen them. They're
I taught first grade. They're crazy.
Way down. Like what a third grader should do, now first graders are required to do.
Yeah.
It's stressful as a teacher to be like, well, how am I going to accommodate all of this? But then it's stressful for the kids because it's a lot for their little hands.
And then they're, from the very beginning, they're behind and they're in need of urgent intervention. And the teacher's like, how am I supposed to teach kids how to find the main idea of a nonfiction text when they don't even know their alphabet? Like they can't read the text. They're like all these strategies of underlining the word, and you're like, they don't know what the words are. How do they know what, you got to teach them to read. If they come in, they don't know anything. Oh man, that's stressful. Yeah. Wow. Okay. So, and you're teaching all the classes, and you're having to plan for 3 different groups.
Right.
So how's that? How are you managing all that? How are you doing with that?
I'm busy. Well, I feel like this year is my first year where I get to reuse things. Like my first year, it was just like, surviving.
Making up as you go.
Trying to figure out what works, what didn't, because I was an elementary and then a middle school teacher. So I didn't know what preschool could do or should do. So that first year, it was just kind of figuring all that stuff out. And then that second year, it was kind of perfecting it. Like, okay, well, what worked, what didn't work? Let's find some new activities. And then last year, I was like, I can't teach the same thing every year because I have kids coming. So then last year, I had to make like a year 2 curriculum. Do that. So this year is my first year where I'm like going back and reusing those things from the first 2 years, and that's nice because I already did all the hard work for that. So right now it's just like.
But you also have to remake the kindergarten. Yeah.
I thought this year was going to be the year I was like, oh, finally.
That year never comes. Away. I was just talking to another all-star about that, how like as soon as you get comfortable, you're moving on to the next thing, and you're like, well, now I'm okay with this, now I can add this, and you're constantly like, it never gets easier because you're always adding more on your plate every time you get comfortable.
That's true. My husband's always telling me, he's like, you're never satisfied with what you did. You found something else cool over the summer that you want to do. I'm like, that's the life of a teacher right there.
My husband says the exact same thing to me. He's like, you keep, I don't even know why you keep adding stuff on your, keep adding stuff. And I'm like, I know, but once I don't know, once I get comfortable, then I just have to look forward, and then it's never ending.
Yourself better. What can you do to make your learning better? Things like that. Yeah, I get it.
Exactly.
So I play that on Fridays, like right now, Friday afternoons, both my kids nap. So that is when I do like all of my research and kind of gathering things for the next week. I
Mm-hmm.
just do my week because that's too much. I mean, if I do it otherwise. And then Sunday is like making sure that I have everything printed and everything organized. So it's a lot less. Like I've gotten better with my time management as I've gone through my preschool, and I'm not having to buy a bunch of stuff for my preschool. Like I have my
Right.
furniture and I have, all my books and the toys and things like that. So um, every year it gets a little easier, even though I'm adding more things, like
Yeah.
I'm managing it better and I've learned how to, you know, store things better and organize better. So
Oof.
uh,
I wish
it,
I learned how to organize better year by year, but it doesn't. I was just hoping that would be one of those skills that came as I was a grown up, and it never did. Never did.
it's so, I don't know. I got like a big shelf from Costco, it was like a metal shelf, and I put it in my storage shed, and I just like, it's all preschool.
Yeah.
It's
That's
crazy.
what I need. I need a storage shed. I have a storage unit that's like down the street, and that's where I keep, it's dramatic play stuff that I'm switching out. And I mean, just everything that I'm switching out, but I haven't organized it. So you open the storage unit and it's just like, oh, all my stuff. Let me dig through everything. And I can't get it together enough to organize it because it's like such a big task.
I could only do it during like school breaks. Like I
Yeah.
literally, like I would make like a pile of things that need like filed or stored or put away. And then I have to wait for like summer or Christmas. Some have a minute because I can't
Yes.
do it week to week. So I get it.
Yep. Totally. So what do you think is the biggest, let's see, how did I put that? Well, the biggest roadblock or hurdle that you've had to jump through in this year as starting a whole new program, expanding your program? What's been the hardest thing there?
I would say like probably marketing a little bit. Because I think I just got like, I had a bunch of students that just rolled over. And so I didn't have to market for like 2 years.
Right.
Just had kids that rolled over, or I have a ton of kids that are finally, siblings are coming and
Oh,
cousins
nice.
are coming. So like, but I had 13 graduate. I only have like 16 students in my whole school. I had
Yeah.
13 graduate last year.
Mhm.
So I was like, well,
It's hard. Yep. Yep.
one now. So that
Totally.
was kind of hard. It's like getting back into the marketing and getting back to like getting myself out there and getting my name out there. And now I've added kindergarten, so I had to change everything. I had like
Yeah.
days preschool, and then I had and kindergarten. So then I had to change all of that, and change my website and change
Yeah.
my logo because I get the kids shirts and things like that. So just like, it seems like a little change just adding one class, but it kind of just like changed a lot.
Hmm.
So yeah, I think marketing was the hardest for me just because I hadn't had to. So I
Yeah.
had to go
Yeah.
back to that.
Okay. And what's the biggest thing that you've learned this year? Your biggest aha moment as a business owner and a teacher?
I don't know. I really love the kindergarten class. Like just watching how much they grow and how excited they are to learn is just it's been the best because they're so eager to learn at this age, and they're such
Mhm.
sponges that we could do anything and I swear they would know it because they're so excited about learning. And so I'm just so excited to be able to have kids from 2 to 6. Like I could impact a student for 4 years.
Oh
Like
my
that
gosh,
is
those are like the most
amazing.
formative years of their lives too.
And it's like the best 4 years of their life because they're so happy, they just love learning and they're excited to be here.
And
And
they
so
love their teacher so much.
just love that I extended, that period of time with them and that personalized learning for them. Because like I said, I have, my kids were 4 and they were reading. I have 4
Mhm.
readers because they've been with me and they're ready for that. And so that's been super fun, just being able to like scaffold them in that direction. And hopefully they're, successful when they go to first grade. And
Oh, I'm sure they will be. I'm sure
yeah,
they will be.
like I said, it just makes me a little like worried. I'm like, am I making them too prepared for school? Like, what like
uh,
the public school does versus what we do. I'm like, maybe we're doing.
okay. I mean, that's not a bad thing. I mean, I understand once they get there, they're gonna maybe they're probably be the most advanced kids in first grade. But I mean, that looks good on you. So
Yeah,
yeah,
so it's been fun. I really liked it. So it's
that's
exciting to
awesome.
go, do what I meant to do. I guess like I always wanted to be a teacher, and I went to school to be a teacher. And then going back to preschool it's a little different. It's a little different change of mindset of what you're doing because you're spending more time playing and
Mhm.
building those, base skills versus like working on reading and writing and all that stuff. So that's exciting that I get to kind of like dip into both worlds.
Yeah.
I like that.
That is really awesome. That's really awesome. And I love the idea of getting to spend like almost 4 years with the same kids. That's so cool. Right now, I just took two-year-olds who were like almost 3 and they were like advanced and they were potty trained and everything. So I felt okay taking them. And then I'm like, wow, I might get them for like 3 years. That's really cool. That's a cool
Yeah.
thought to have. Yeah.
I don't actually require potty training, so I have some young kids.
Oh,
Mine is the youngest. So
oh
that's
wow.
like my youngest son is now in preschool with me. So
That's
that's
fun. Yeah,
yeah.
that's super
And then
fun.
my oldest, this is his last year. I'm like, And it's
Mm,
only because I have the kindergarten that he's
yeah.
still here.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be sad next year when he leaves because this will be his 4th year. He's with me.
Oh yeah, yeah. You think it's gonna be a hard well, I guess he's already going to public school, so it won't be as hard to
We're kind of
transition
doing
him.
like halvesies right now.
Yeah, that's a good way to transition him. Does he like the public school kindergarten, or does he like being home with you?
He likes being home. He always is like, but I'm gonna miss you. I'm like, buddy,
Yeah.
it's only 3 hours. I'll see you when I'm done.
Yep. Now you know how the other parents feel when they drop their kids off for 3 hours, and yep, totally. Okay, so what are your next plans?
Yeah,
Last time I asked you this, you were talking about making a kindergarten, and then you did that.
I know. I really want to get a building. I
Nice.
do, but the market here is just bonkers. I don't know if it's that way
It
everywhere, but
it
it's
is. It is. In
insane.
Nevada, it's crazy. That's what's stopping us right now from getting another place too. It's just crazy.
Right. It just makes me, I don't know, makes me sad because like we're totally good with like we can go upgrade our house and then I could get one with like a bigger basement because my room is not super big, so I can only just have one class going at a time. It would be really
Right.
nice to have more than one.
Yeah.
But we don't have the space, so it'd be nice to have like if I can find a house with a basement and then we could like have house with, or it'd be nice to have a completely just preschool kindergarten building. That
I
would
know.
be cool too.
That's what we're trying to do, but we just can't afford like the houses are just crazy. It doesn't
$1 million on a
Yeah.
house.
Yeah.
So I don't know. That's my hope, but I don't know. I need the market to like crash or something.
I know. I know. I hate to say that. I hate to wait for that, but at least just like stabilize a little bit because it's just
It keeps crawling. Like
unsustainable.
even our
Yeah.
house, it's like quadrupled since we bought it
Hmm.
7 years ago. I'm just
Yeah. Yeah.
like
It's nuts.
that's sweet if we want to sell, but where are we gonna
Where are you
go?
gonna live? Exactly. I know. We're the same thing. We're like, oh, sweet. We made a lot of money on our house, but then we'd have to buy an even more expensive one, and that would not be making money.
Right, right. So that's my hope, but I'm good with where we are. We're fine, and we just started the kindergarten, so it's still pretty new. So I'm okay with what's new right now, and we'll see
Good, good.
what happens
Yeah.
next year.
Yeah. This is what we were talking about the other day too, is just being good where you're at and not, being able to slow down and not feeling like you have to keep going and adding and adding and adding, just enjoying what you've built because you've put so much work into it and you built this amazing thing. And now you should just be able to enjoy it for a little bit.
Yeah, yeah, and I do, and we have a lot of fun. So
Awesome. Well, I'm so excited to talk to you again and hear all these updates and where you've been. I mean, so how many students are your program is full right now?
we have one space in my pre-K, but I had a tour
Okay.
today. I had a tour right before this, so
Nice. Yeah. So even if you do have one leave, you're able to fill it quickly and
we just had one. They're moving to Washington, so it's like
Mhm.
so.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
it's not too bad. I'm always worried though when people leave mid-year because it seems like it'd be kind of hard to find somebody to replace because preschool and kindergarten is not really on people's minds mid-year.
Hmm.
But I have 3 tours this week,
There's
so
always people that are,
somebody, right?
yeah,
You just have
that
to
are
keep
either like, oh, we don't need to go to preschool. And then halfway through the year, they're like, I need to get this kid in preschool,
yeah,
or
like the one
just,
today, she turns 3 in January, and they were like, oh, well, we were just going to start her in January. We didn't know there were preschools that had 2-year-olds. I'm like, well,
Mhm.
that's what makes us different because
Yeah.
we offer that. So
Yeah, totally.
it's nice.
Totally. Yep. Awesome. Well, I wish you all the best of luck in continuing your kindergarten program and the market crashing or stabilizing? We'll say stabilizing. We don't want that. We don't want that.
Level out or
level out. Yeah. We just, yeah. But as for now, enjoy everything you built because you are rocking.
Yes. Thank you.
Yes. Thank you for talking to us again. You have a great day.
If you loved today's episode, then you are going to love this. I want to give you a free gift in your hands. This is a copy of my book, Start Your Preschool, and I want to get it to you for free. Yes, I said for free. It is a 300-page book. It'll help you learn the step-by-step process to actually starting your local or your online preschool. Every single step that I walked myself through, as well as the thousands of women who've created their own successful preschools, have gone through the exact steps listed in this book. Not to mention, I also share 20 amazing women's stories. So you can see how not only did it work for me, but it works for amazing women just like you as well. I want to get you this free copy. Just go to freepreschoolbook.com or click the link in the description and we'll get it to you today. Again, just go to freepreschoolbook.com and we'll get it right to you.